All right. It was interesting to see on Punch newspaper the breaking news as of yesterday that the appeal court stays execution of judgment deregistering ADC for others. This was as recent as yesterday, June 16, 2026, by 4:51 p.m. Let me just read this brief caveat. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has ordered a stay of execution of the judgment that directed the Independent National Electoral Commission to deregister the African Democratic Congress and four other political parties. Wow, this was tough because when this news was announced, I think the day before, a number of media outlets as well as social media channels talked about it as a significant disruption with respect to the 2027 general election. But then let's look at the implication of this. What if the court did not step aside this decision or put a stay order on it? What will have been the implication if they proceeded with that judgment and INEC went ahead to execute? The first is that this is going to shrink the opposition significantly. If ADC and other smaller parties are deregistered, voters will have fewer alternatives beyond the major parties. And when opposition is being shrinked, it's going to affect the competitiveness of the election system as well as the political system, and it will have negative impact on the credibility of the election. Then electoral choices would also reduce because candidates who are planning to contest under affected parties will be forced to switch platforms or abandon their ambitions entirely. Then there are legal and constitutional battles that will also arise. For instance, there will be mass deregistration, which will trigger prolonged court cases and then lead to political unrest, concerns around the fairness of the electoral system. Then political tension will also rise. Supporters will view this move as limiting democratic participation as well as increasing public distrust. Already, the level of public distrust for the current government is skyrocketing, and so if this decision was driven to the later, it's going to have a negative impact on the credibility and the level of trust that the citizens have of the government. And then power realignment would also take place if this had pulled through. Major parties may gain strength as politicians and supporters migrate to surviving platforms. So you're also going to see another wave of mass defection from the concerned political parties to other political parties such as the APC, the NDC, the PDP, and co. Those who may not have made it on the list of those parties to be deregistered. And this is actually a good development. But the question that's been on my mind, which I want to put out there, is if the court knew that they were not going to follow through with this decision, maybe because of national security interests or given concerns of or the risk around democracy, why did they make the judgment in the first instance? Why not postpone the judgment till a later date? Those are questions on my mind that I do not understand. So maybe those of us who understand can fill us in on it. Thank you.